Hey everybody, Alexa Zepp here with the Daily Racing Form to go over a pick 3 sequence for this Saturday, January 18th. And it's a big day over at Fair Gounds. It's not the official kickoff of the Derby Trail. I know we already have horses who have points on the trail, but it kind of feels like a kickoff a little bit. It's one of the bigger point races for this tier. It gives 42 points to the Derby, 20 points for first place, so it's very exciting. And that's not the only exciting thing on their card. They have an all stakes pick 5 as their late pick 5 that ends in the Lecomte Stakes. So it's an exciting card for sure. Our pick 3 is going to be the last 3 races on the card. So races 10, 11, and 12. Starting with race 10, the Colonel E.R. Bradley Stakes going a mile and a 16th on the turf for 4-year-olds and up. I found this race pretty difficult. I do have a favorite pick in here, the number 7, but spreading to use 3 horses actually, starting with the number 1, Northern Invader at 5-1 morning line odds, coming off a long layoff for trainer Cherie DeVaux, who crushes it at Fair Gounds with a 31% win rate, and is a first-time gelding in tomorrow's race, so should be part of the quick early pace. Like I previously mentioned, the number 7, Gigante, at 7-2 odds, is in great form. Fits great in this race, loves Fair Gounds, winner last out in the DeBerto Memorial Stakes at Fair Gounds, going the same distance with a 95 buyer, so really impressive speed figure. Been out at Fair Gounds 4 times, has won 2 of them, got second in a 3rd race. So he's won over $1 million in his lifetime so far. Definitely the one to beat. We'll also include the number 9, What Say Thee, at 6-1 odds, who ran a lifetime best in the Salty Allowance race in November at Churchill last. That was off a 2-month layoff, just like today, coming back after a 2-month layoff. It's a 7-year-old gelding who seems to just still be improving, and his closing style should help him in a race with so much pace. Race 11 is the Grade 3 Louisiana Stakes for 4-year-olds and up, going a mile and a 16th on the dirt. Gonna use 3 horses in here again. The number 1, Hit Show, probably the horse to beat from the rail. He's solid, he's consistent, he's a multiple graded stakes winner. He ran in the 2023 Kentucky Derby and has continued to compete at high levels ever since. He strung together 3 graded stakes wins in a row this past fall. Number 5, Skinner, at 9-2 odds, hit the board in 8 out of his 12 starts, and most recently won the Grade 3 Native Diver Stakes at Del Mar in November. This will be his first out with trainer Cherie DeVaux, who I previously mentioned does astoundingly well at Fair Gounds. Skinner actually got an invite to the Pegasus World Cup, but they passed for this spot, which is, in my opinion, a considerably easier spot for him. Number 8, Track Phantom, at 8-1 odds, who may ring a bell from the Derby last year. He faded, unfortunately, in the Derby and was the winner of last year's Lecomte Stakes, which we'll go over next. And that was his most recent win a year ago, but he's been running really strong figures the last few months and should be the pace setter in this race. Hopefully can retain that and not fade like he has in some of his most recent starts. I like the odds we're getting on him at 8-1. Race 12 is the feature, the Grade 3 Lecomte, going a mile and a 16th on the dirt for 3-year-olds. Like I mentioned, this awards Derby points, should shake up the Derby leaderboard. And I'm going 4 deep in here, starting with the number 1, Innovator, at 10-1. Coming in for the GOAT, the coach, trainer Dwayne Lucas. As you probably know, he's 89 years old and inducted in the Hall of Fame almost 20 years ago. He really is the GOAT, has won pretty much everything out there. But it took this horse 7 starts to break his maiden. And that was last out over the mud, going a much shorter distance. He did get second in 4 of his other 6 races, though. Lucas tried him in a Grade 1 Stakes last year. He obviously sees great talent in this horse from the get, so you have to respect that opinion. But this is a big step up in class and distance again. But at the price, I think is worth including. They did buy this horse for $900,000 as a yearling, so they've had high expectations from him from the start. I'll use the number 6, Golden Afternoon, at 20-1 odds. That's a big long shot I want to throw in here. Has run 3 really solid races on the grass, but this will be his first debut on the dirt. has been doing so well on the grass, and the connections obviously just want to see if this is a Derby caliber horse, so they're going to try out the dirt. And if he ends up liking the dirt and taking to it, I really think he could show up and add a lot of value to this ticket. The number 7 calling card is my favorite in this race, but is not the favorite, which is important. It's actually 12-1 morning line odds. This horse switched to dirt 2 back and was just what he needed, made a huge improvement, won that race. He's one of the first horses by, the newer sire Complexity, who had those really precocious 2-year-olds last year. A plus for calling card in this race is that he prefers to sit back off the pace and make a late run. And there was a lot of early hot pace in this race. So he should really benefit with his running style. He can relax, stay out of the drama, hopefully position himself well and run him down at the end. Timeform US does predict him to be the winner in this race as well. And finally, the 13 Built, who is the 3-1 morning line favorite, won the Gun Runner Stakes going this distance at Fair Gounds a month ago. Ran the fastest lifetime speed figure of anyone in here that day, so probably a deserving favorite. But he does like the lead, and like I said, there's going to be a lot of pace in here that he's going to have to contend with, and he drew this probably difficult post position in the 13 hole. His trainer, I'm giving some negatives here because he is the favorite. Again, I'm still including him, but I do want to try to beat him with some of these longer priced horses. But, Wayne Catalano doesn't have exceptional stats for horses coming back off a layoff or coming back after a win. So, again, still putting him on the ticket, but I do think a vulnerable, beatable favorite, and threw in 3 great prices in the mix to try to get some value. So that's the pick 3. It's 3 horses in race 10, 3 horses in race 11, and then 4 horses in the feature in the LeCompte. It's $36 for $1. You can play it for 50 cents if you want for $18. So good luck to you this weekend. I hope you have a great weekend of racing, great weekend over at Fair Gounds, and best of luck if you play this pick 3 with me.